WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app.
What's going on, everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of Operation Big Brother, brought to you, of course, by War Room Sports. This is the show where we analyze the CBS reality show, if you want to call it reality game show, Big Brother. Look, since the last time we were with you guys, you know, a lot of things have happened. But before we tell you what happened, if you weren't watching, I'm going to tell you who's with me tonight. We got the homie Frank from Sports Kings. What's up, Frank?
Yo, shout out to Victoria saying, I don't want to go out like this, like she's actually done anything.
We got my partner from War Room Sports, Jimmy the Blueprint.
What's up, people? Yo, Frank, I think the worst part is when Victoria was talking about how her and Derek masterminded this whole season. That's even better.
And we got the homie, the Hutch man from Operation Battle Rap. What up, Hutch?
Salutations to the Big Brother Nation. Let's get it. Shout out to you, Jimmy, for pointing that out. And shout out to CBS for making a montage like she really did orchestrate.
She's gonna be waiting for 250K. All she's gonna get is a postcard from Hawaii.
Word.
I know, but before we get to Victoria and her delusional mindset, a lot of things have happened since the last time we recorded. Nicole has gone home twice. Christine is gone, and you know everybody's favorite angel, Donnie, is gone. And from looking at the footage inside of the jury house, Donnie not that much of an angel no more because he's taking shots at everybody.
Donnie turned up now that he can't win no.
Yeah, he did it towards the end, like when he was about to go home. Like he did the same thing. Like he was all like nice guy. Then all of a sudden they were about to send him home. He's like, yeah,
Yo, he hit Christine with the "Do you have an attorney?" joke too. I was like, oh, come on.
Oh yeah, right.
Yo, that was cold, yo.
All right, so some things have gone on. Of course, we saw the very, very awkward proposal from Jeff to Jordan. Brought them back into the house for that. Jordan she's still such an airhead that she just made that the most awkward proposal I've ever seen in my life.
That's how you know the yam's amazing.
And she kept talking about a competition, like
Yeah.
after everything. So there's no competition? No.
And even after he presented the ring, she like, is this a joke? Like, tears, no all. I'm like, I wouldn't feel that if I'm him. I'm like, get up. We're going to do this again some other time.
That's why they kept showing Frankie, because Frankie had all emotion, holding the dog and crying and stuff. I'm like, you act like he proposed to you.
Yo, Cody broke down a little bit too when the artist was singing and they were doing a little montage of Jeff and Jordan. They put the camera on Cody. He had a little tear coming down the corner of his eye.
Yo, it's like I've been telling you guys.
Emotional, except for Jordan. Everybody was emotional except for the person who was.
But you know, it's like I told you since the beginning of last season. I think that when you go in that house, like I don't even hold people accountable for stuff they say or do because you got to go crazy when you're around nobody, nothing, no TV, no internet, all that. So they're stir crazy at this point. I wonder how you adjust coming back out the house.
Yeah, you probably would just get emotional with everything after you've been trapped in there.
Uh-huh.
And by all accounts, by Jeff's account, the house smelled like feces, so that's not a cool place to be locked in. Look, man, I want to talk to you guys. We talk all the time within our group, the Facebook group, Operation Big Brother. Join that if you're not a part of it. We talk about how Derek's game is strong, and just like it seems like America's been doing the same thing we have and comparing him to Dan Gieslin. But have you guys ever seen anything like what's been happening in the past couple of episodes? Like, he's actually getting people to play roles for him so he can get extra votes once this person is kicked out. Like, everybody's playing his game for him.
Listen,
have you
man,
guys ever seen anything
he's a walking 48 Laws of Power book. I think Frank said it best, especially what he just did to Victoria this season. He said, he just got Victoria to do something that benefits her nothing at all. Like, she got no benefit. It benefited nobody but him, and he talked her into it. It made her feel like it was the right thing to do. It's to the point where he's so good that I think he may be going too far. Cause like
I agree completely.
Because Frankie knows what he's doing, but Frankie still is like enthralled with him. Like Frankie knows it, and it doesn't matter that he knows it.
You know, the best part is like he's not even trying to talk people into things anymore. Like he pretty much told Victoria, like, all right, I know you're going home, but like it'd be really cool if you could help me win the 500K on your way out the door. And she was like, okay. She, like he like hired her as a goon, and she just did it.
She sold it like a pro. There's some pretty good actors and actresses in this house, man. When they did the whole Team America thing with the rat, and Frankie's jumping around, screaming, like Frankie might get an offer for soap opera or something. Victoria might get a little offer to do something. They already asked for Donnie on like The Bold and the Beautiful or something like that. So.
But you know what's crazy though?
People might get paid after this is over.
What's crazy is, man, like he's definitely just playing an amazing game. But as I sat back and thought about it, I think the 3 best players this entire season are still there. I think Frankie is right there with Derek. Like we always talk about how great Derek is, but Frankie dominates competition. I mean, he won a competition by himself, for Christ's sake. He has a social game that's up there as well. But also, if you look at Caleb, right? Caleb has won competitions, but he also has been very transparent. He's honest about everything. He's still on the line something by himself, but he's the most loyal. He's the most loyal guy in the house. He really hasn't backstabbed anybody. Even when he turned on Frankie the one time, he was upfront about it.
Told him he was turning on him.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like those 3 are the 3 best players. Now, who can beat who when it comes down to it? That's what's going to be interesting.
But you know what? I'm glad for Caleb's sake that Amber went out of the house a long time ago, because that would have destroyed his game, because he was too worried about what he could do for her.
He wanted that moisture real bad.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, the same thing. I felt the same thing for.
Games weren't ready for you. They weren't cooked. So.
I felt the same way about Hayden. Like I felt like if Nicole wasn't in the house, Hayden would have played a really good game. He would have been a lot more social with everybody else in the house. I thought he played a good game overall, like kind of like in the background. But I think him being tied to Nicole is really what sent him home, to be honest. Like that's what I thought. But yeah, I agree. I think Frankie and Derek are like 1 and 2. I think Caleb's a distant third, even though like you said he has been playing a transparent game. But like the stuff Derek's doing, it really is just amazing. Like he literally had an alliance with everybody. Every single person in the house like was tied to Derek, and not only did he have an alliance with him, he was the guy that they trusted most in the house. Like how many players have said, "Yeah, Derek, that's who I trust the most in the house." Like that's crazy.
But here's what I'm saying, Frank. Think about this though. Like that's all true. But if you look at the jury now, they're all realizing it. Like, yo, he's the mastermind. If he comes down, let's just say it comes down to Caleb and Derek, and they look at it and they say, well, Caleb really never screwed any of us. He was honest about it. You know what I mean? And he's won more competitions than Derek. That's why I do think Derek's playing a better game. But I think that I wouldn't say he's a distant third. I wouldn't say that.
It depends on how emotional this group of people is, because now you know how CBS likes to cut stuff up so they can hit us with the 52 fake outs, so we really didn't get a good hold of what they were thinking, but from what they showed, it seemed like the people who were starting to be onto Derek's game, it seemed like they were respecting it, though. And that's always a good thing. Thinking like, damn, you played me. I like that. You got my vote. I mean, that's how I would vote in the House, but we know from the history of this game, a lot of people are kind of scoring, so they weren't about who's screwed.
And it's also what Dan said, Dev. Dan said, how is he going to be able to explain that in a couple minutes? When Caleb can just look up and like, look, I played very honest, I didn't screw anybody, and I won X amount of You know what I mean? Like, that's something that comes up too. How can you explain it? Derek has to go like, well, I told her to do this.
He's so calculated, he's probably been working on this speech for 6 weeks.
And that's also true. That's also true.
But no,
that's also true.
At this point, I see, like, okay, he got to this point, but I agree, Jim. It's going to be very difficult from this point on for him to, to keep it going and actually win this thing, because, some people are going to be hurt. My question to you guys is, now that they did the Big Brother rewind, how does what he made Victoria do affect her game now that she's still in it?
Yo, but hold on, though.
Now she has nobody to talk to all week because she already put him on blast on national TV and said, I'm never going to speak to you again. So now she has no ally unless she just breaks down and act like she forgave him.
No, but here's the funny
Which
thing.
would be corny in their eyes. They would probably be on to it.
Here's the funny thing. You're absolutely right about that. But shout out to Monica. She said that Derek won't have to explain at the end because he's probably going to be sitting next to Victoria. So he's just gonna point at her and they're going to be like. So he won't have anything to explain anyway. But I don't know how they're going to play it off because she was even going in on him when she thought she was going home already.
Yeah.
So
playing herself.
I mean, at the end of the day, we know she's not going to win the competition, so
It's
she's
a
going to
good
be back
thing
on the block
she
anyway.
sucks at competitions, because otherwise she would have a problem on her hands if she actually won. Well, Derek would have a problem actually, because she would have to put him up, or the whole thing they would say it was a lie. But she sucks,
right.
so they won't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
They won't have to worry. She's definitely going to lose. But speaking of that, she probably has the most annoying diary sessions that I've ever seen on the show because that's going to be a rude awakening for her when she actually watches the show back because she really thinks she's done something. Like if I hear Last Woman Standing one more time, I hear that because they made you that. Not
Free Joey.
Derek,
Free
and
Joey.
then she called herself the competition princess and she's won like one competition all summer.
Yo, Dev, just think why that is. You want to know why she feels that way is because Derek drilled it into her head that she was like the last woman standing, like she got kind of award.
Parroting everything that Derek told her.
Yeah, and she definitely would have gave him the box if he wanted it.
Yeah.
100%.
But do you peep how smooth he is though? Like, every time she would hug him, he's like, "Oh, my little sister." So he knows the cameras is on him at all times. You don't want that Christine treatment.
Yeah. Speaking of that, real quick, to go back to Derek sitting in the final two and having to explain himself. Monica might be right though, Jim. Like he might just sit there and when they ask him the question, he might say, "You guys out there, you tell me what I did." And they might just start explaining themselves right there at the voting chair, like explaining the game for him. But speaking of that Hutch, Christine treatment, have you guys ever seen anybody leave Big Brother and get booed the way she did?
Not that much. It was the first time it's been all boos. Like even with like Rachel and what's her name from last year that people hated, Makranda.
Everybody. Yeah, Amanda.
Even them two, like people hated them, but it was like boos and some cheers. You heard it was all boos when she walked.
Yo, but Amanda was a straight bully. Like she was just like disrespecting her whole family.
Yeah, she.
Christine just disrespected her whole family. Her mom even was like, "Yo, I hope she comes home soon." Like,
she doesn't deserve that.
Won't even care about that bread, but she embarrassing us out here, yo.
Yeah, that's crazy when your family.
Yo, like honestly, I thought they did Christine dirty. Like I don't think. Like who would these Big Brother people must be like holier than thou, man? Like you never flirt with somebody when you're married.
But Frank, she was out of pocket. She was on TV and she was out of pocket. She went a little too far.
She's stroking the dude.
She was stroking, right?
Long hugs.
I mean, I think what really. I think what really did it in was not what she was doing. I think it was when they interviewed her husband, and he was like, "Yo, we never agreed on any of this." He hung her out to dry. He could have backed his woman and be like, "Yeah, you got to do what you got to do." He was like, "Yo, that chick's on her own. Like, I don't know what the hell she's doing."
Because that's how she was selling it, and all her diary says, and she was like, "I'm just doing this for us, honey." And he's like, "No."
I wonder what treatment Cody will get. I don't think it'll be as bad as Christine, but some people might feel some type of way about Cody as well when he goes out. But I can't see it being as bad as her. I mean, she's the one that's married. She has the bigger responsibility.
She's gonna take the exactly. Married.
And plus, Cody's family backed him. Like his pops was like, "Yo, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like you gotta flirt with a witch. You gotta flirt with a witch. Like whatever gets the job done."
Yeah, she put holes in her mouth at one point. Did I miss that? Did nobody see that?
I didn't see that. I missed that.
Yo,
weird.
There was a clip where she put his toe in her mouth.
His toe.
I gotta find that. Yeah, it was one of the little.
Nah, B. That's it. See, that's
they were showing all the stuff that they were doing. It might have been during that episode when her parents were talking.
That's too much.
That's flirting. That's over the top.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's flirting, and then there's just disrespect.
Yeah, 'cause
Even though
her husband probably sitting at the crib like, she don't even do that to me. Put my toes in her mouth.
Because your man looked like a ramen noodle. Like, there's no reason to disrespect him on national TV. All right, so last thing before we get out of here, man. What do you think? What do you guys think is going to happen on this rewind? I mean, of course, when it went off, they were doing the seed competition again. Kind of looked like Caleb might have been in the lead this time, and they all know how to do it now. So I kind of
felt like Cody was in the lead, but to be honest, like I think the funny thing about this twist, like the stupid thing about it, is I think it's going to happen the exact same way. Like I think it's either going to be Caleb or Frankie that wins the HOH. They're going to put up Cody and Victoria's going to go home. I don't think it's going to change anything.
Yeah.
Here's my question though. Here's my question.
Somebody else wins, they're going to put up another one of the guys just to say, well, Cody went up last time, so we're not going to do that.
But here's my question though.
The thing is, if Cody wins, that might change something.
What's the power of veto? Like the game last time was those pictures where they melded the faces together. Yeah, they're not going to do the same pictures though, are they?
I wouldn't think so.
They might do the same game and just make different photos.
Yeah, they got to switch the orders up. Because I'm pretty sure, obviously, they had the twist in the works. So when they did that, they got the second set already queued up for this. Yeah. And because they don't want to give them an advantage, because they know that like, oh, they probably memorized this stuff because they have like memorization kind of challenges already. So they're thinking like, oh, I'll just remember just in case. You never know. It's Big Brother, so they want to switch it up.
I think what they need to start doing like next season, and I don't know how everybody feels about this, but like I feel like all the players, like they're such big fans of the show that they all know the twist, like they all see what's coming. Like I think next season they need to like find a cast that's never watched Big Brother before and just throw them in a Big Brother house, so that like everything will be a surprise. And like I just feel like the people now that come in the house, they know way too much.
Right.
Yeah. Frank, the game will be better because you won't have all these house votes. Go back to when it was pure. You know what I mean? But that's a good thing. Throw them in there, give them a lie detector test. Have you ever watched the show?
Even when they was trying to figure out what it could be, a couple of them said it like, "Oh, what if everything we did didn't count and we got to do everything over again?"
Yeah.
A couple times
instead of a rewind, he called it a reset.
Yeah.
Frank, that's a good idea, man. I think it's time for some fresh blood as well because everybody comes in with a strategy already. Now it's this thing where you have to vote with the house. It's gotten kind of it's lost its way because everybody's a fan of the show, so everybody's going in thinking they have to do what the last people did.
Because nobody wants to get blood on their hands.
And with our first blood on our hands mention of the evening,
right?
That's our cue, man. Everybody, like usual, make sure you subscribe to the page so you know whenever a video comes out. Like the video, comment on the video. Make sure you get that War Room Sports app in your Android, Google Play Store, or your Apple iOS App Store, whatever that's called. My bad if I got that wrong. Look, I think it's going to get pretty interesting from here because all of the Alliance members and the dude from the Bomb Squad, they're going to have to turn on each other now. And I'm even saying that with Victoria still in the house because she's a non-factor. As they would say on the basketball line, she's a non-effing factor. Well, look, everybody, we'll be right back at you next week to talk about what went on in the house from here until then. So like we tell you guys all the time, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
We'll see you chumps on top.
Bomb Squad.
Kuwait, it's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.